fascism is this like really like incestuous melding of right-wing and left-wing ideas. And one of the places where historically fascism has always taken on a degree of left-wing ideas is in the installation and initiation of social programs within the country itself in order to better the lives of that targeted masses who are going along with the fascism. And that's something that's completely and utterly absent in Trump's America. I mean, in many ways, you know, I said before that, you know, Trump and Bernie were very much targeting the same people. But Trump just had rhetoric. You know, Bernie actually was putting forth solutions. And Bernie's solutions were the same kind of social programs that often you would see under a fascist regime. And Trump is completely lacking in any of that initiative whatsoever, to a point where it really needs to be pointed out and stressed.
Well, and there's no organized mass movement that is supporting this, that is part of the distribution of goods or preferred distribution of goods. So a good example of what's missing from Trump's thing, and hopefully he's not listening and doesn't get this idea. But a good example of what's missing is my experience when I first met some Greek Hellenic polytheists who were living in Greece, who supported the Golden Dawn. Golden Dawn, for those who don't know, is clearly a fascist nationalist movement in Germany, in Greece. They attack, beat up, and have also killed anarchists and immigrants in the communities that they work with. Many of them are allied with the police. Some of the police members are actually Golden Dawn members. Now that sounds a little bit like our experience in the United States, but for one example, and this was something that they had made clear to me. You know, I was utterly shocked and appalled that anybody could have supported them, but their statements were like, hey, these guys are feeding us. The Golden Dawn will come through with trucks full of food, and they'll pass out food for free to the poor people. Now, those were poor Greeks. It wasn't just any poor people. They were giving preferential treatment to the people that they believed were the master race, or the only ones allowed to be in Greece. It was a social program. They were taking care of old women, you know, checking up on old women, checking up on new mothers, making sure that everybody of their group was well fed. Now, that's not happening in the United States. You don't see the Proud Boys going out and running soup kitchens for poor white veterans or for poor white unemployed people. You don't see that from any of the other groups. No one, they're not doing this. Now, that's not to say that they won't do this. And some of that has to do as well with the fact that in the United States you don't see either side doing that.
You know, there's a lot of, like, especially from kind of a privileged Western perspective, a liberal democratic perspective, I think there's often this great misunderstanding amongst many people as to why folks will line up behind an authoritarian leader. You know, and it really very much can be like broken down if you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You know, the American ideals that we hold, you know, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, those are really easy things. Those are hills that are easy to die on if you're being fed, if you have a house, if your basic needs for survival as a human being are met. Then that becomes of the utmost importance. You know, it's the same way Americans don't understand why so many people in Cuba could support Castro. Well, he's doing this, well, he's doing that, well, he's doing that. Yeah, and there's zero homelessness.
Right.
You know,
and the best healthcare in the world and all
exactly,
of that stuff. Like,
you know.
Their material needs are taken care of.
Completely taken care of. It's a lot easier to accept authoritarian behavior if in exchange for accepting it, your basic survival needs are being taken care of.
And you may not see it as authoritarian either. I mean, you know, again, like when a dude like with muscles and a black T-shirt that has a fascist symbol on it is giving you a bag of groceries and asking if you need anything, that's not going to feel like authoritarian. That's going to feel like love, kindness, compassion, etc.
Empires crumble.
Empires crumble.